on with na da da da, na da da da. Wow, it is really dark in here again. What is going on? Hello, everybody, and welcome. Let me, hold on a minute. I think one of my kitchen lights is starting to fail, so it's really dark out here. Hello, give me a moment. Okay. Da, 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 da. Holy crap. All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Monday night mini medicine card reading. I am Patrick, your friendly neighborhood shaman. Oh, hey, Carolyn. Yay, it's good to have you here. Sorry, I'm a little disorganized. Okay, I'm going to try. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Love will keep us together. Da, ba, ba, da, ba, ba, bum. Ba, 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 da, da, bum, ba, dee, bum. Ba, ba, da, bum. Ba, 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 bum. So I have a kitchen light that is kind of going out, so I'm going to see if maybe some candlelight will help. That helps. Awesome. Alrighty, welcome everybody. Thank you for being here. I am Patrick, your friendly neighborhood shaman. And I wish I could get that so you're not seeing the top of the curtain. Anyway, welcome for another Monday night mini medicine card reading. As you can tell, I'm a little bit disorganized tonight. Okay, hello. Where did I had a pencil here. Cheesy Pete's. All right. Little disorganized. Ah, that one's not even sharpened. Love will keep us together. That'll work. Ba 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 de ba ba. All right. Woof-da. All right, I am here, and there's the pencil I was looking for. All right, if you are new here, the way this works, the first 6 people to say yes in the comments, and we've already got Carolyn and Anna. You get a 1-card medicine card reading. And then, if you are not one of the first 6, that is okay. Or if you're watching this in repeat, all you need to do is choose a number between 1 and 6 and pay attention to that card. Even though it may be technically aimed at someone else, I promise that you will get the guidance that you need. So, and of course, this is totally free, this video, but I ask you the favor of please sharing it. Share it out so people can find me. I can help and more people, etc., etc. Kind of a win-win. And if you wish to support your friendly neighborhood shaman, I do have my PayPal and Venmo links pinned to the top of the comments. So if you wish to help in other ways as well to support me in my work, I am beyond grateful for whatever you wish to give to me. So, all right. Is there anything else I need to say? I don't think so. So, actually, I need to take a breath. Ground myself. I got caught up. I was drawing, and lost track of time. I looked at my phone and it was 8 o'clock. I'm like, oh crap. So kind of needed that little bit of space to ground and to calm and to connect to my spirit guides. And all right, so let's just go ahead and get started. Looks like maybe not a lot of people coming tonight, which is okay. So card number 1 is for Carolyn. How are you doing, Carolyn? I haven't seen you. I don't think I've ever... I saw you once at Gaia's Temple, or twice maybe. But I follow you. I love your artwork. In fact, I've got that owl painting that you made. I love that. All right, so card number 1 for Carolyn, or whoever may be following by number. All right, you had one jump out. Carolyn. Okay, let's put the... Oh, thank you. All right, so we're going to move this candle closer so that I can hold up the card and you can actually see it. So, Carolyn, your card number 1 is Coyote. And of course, Coyote is the trickster. So, give me a second to tune in. You are a trickster, and what I'm getting is that this is a validation that you are in the right place at the right time, doing the right things. I say this in the best way possible. This is totally a compliment, but you couldn't fit in even if you tried. It's kind of like the here on the island of misfit toys. But it's something to be celebrated, and I know you understand that uniqueness, and you know, it's not so much being a rebel, right? You know, a rebel needs... I'm so glad that made sense to you. You know, a rebel needs something to fight against. And that's the difference between a rebel and a leader. A leader has a vision that they go toward, right? They are drawn forward toward the highest good, toward a vision. Well, a rebel needs something or someone to fight against. Their whole purpose is in taking down something else. Devlin, hey, how are you? I've been thinking about you. Yes, I do. Awesome. All right, so, and so this is about, it's like, when you're a trickster, how do I put this into words? Just, you don't, oh God. You are changing the world just by simply being who you are, doing what you do. There's not, oh, hey, Valerie, do you want a card? Or are you just popping in? You automatically I'm so glad you're here, Davlin. It's good to see you. You know what I'm going to do, Carolyn? I'm going to pull one more card for you. I don't usually do this, but... Okay, Valerie, I got you on the list. Carolyn, so you've got Coyote, right? And then the second one that came up was Fox in reverse. And Fox is kind of the ninja of the animal kingdom. Fox's power is in observing without being seen, of learning from watching, and illusion, like the cloak of invisibility, right? But when he comes up in reverse, usually it's a sign that it's time to be seen. You've been spending enough time hiding away. And it's not that, no one's taking away your cloak of invisibility. You still have that ability. You still have that magical power of disappearing right in plain sight, or laying false tracks, or, being one place and everyone thinks you're somewhere else or whatever, just like Fox, that crazy like a fox thing, right? But how I would interpret this, I think you have a purpose here, right? You're meant to be seen. You're meant to be seen. And like you said, this is a temporary thing, but you have gifts to bring to everyone, whatever this is, whatever the work or job or whatever it is, by being seen. You don't have to fit in. You are sovereign. You are your own sovereign being, right? You don't have to fit in. And, and that's why a lot of us were born, because if you don't fit in to the world, you were meant to change the world, right? And so there's things here that you can help to change, and not with the purpose of saving people or healing people or changing people's minds, but just by being who you are, doing what you do, that energy radiates outward from you. And others will learn just by watching you, or, having contact with you. All of a sudden, and it's not that you're going to teach them a new, whole different way of doing things or looking at things. What you're going to do is open their hearts to the point where all of a sudden they realize there's more than what they thought was there. That there are options. It's not necessarily to follow you, right? A leader doesn't create followers. A leader creates more leaders. And so by being in your own sovereignty, being there for your own purposes, whatever those are, just by your own unique light and craziness and refusal to bow under the rules and the regulations, etc., you're going to open people's eyes and open people's hearts. And then you can throw that cloak of invisibility back on and disappear into the woods and never be heard from again, if that's what you want to do. But, and I think I'm kind of getting, I'm kind of getting that this might be people are pretty set in their ways, and it's like there's an official protocol, way to do things, and and no one questions it, right? And so you're there to help lighten things up, to kind of like, to stop the hamster wheel, right? And there's the, hey, Tammy. Yes, they got a spot left for you. Carolyn, do you know about Renard the Fox? Between Coyote and Fox, there's these medieval stories about Renard the Fox. And they were so popular that Renard is now the French word for fox. And Bruin is the official French word for bear, because those were characters in these stories. And so Renard the Fox is very coyote-like. It's like Roadrunner, Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner cartoons for the Middle Ages, or Tom and Jerry kind of things. But there's tons of these stories, and they're not something you can share in polite company, because they're pretty bawdy and risque, and it is like a Tom and Jerry cartoon. There's a lot of kind of violence, but it's like Renard is that figure, that trickster figure, that he pretends to be, like in one, he pretends to be a monk and takes people on a pilgrimage. It's something to look up. It's something to look into. I love Renard. And I want to, like, my cartooning self wants to do a series of Renard comics, but I'm really hesitant because most of them have either something like there's a wolf, Isengrin, who is kind of his protagonist or antagonist. Yeah, they're the ones that fight. And at one point he gets Isengrin's head stuck in the frozen lake. And so when Isengrin pulls out, he's bald on top. And then he teases him about becoming a monk because he's got the tonsure and everything. But anyway, look it up. They're awesome. And it's like, no one knows exactly who wrote them. It's kind of like a conglomeration of a whole bunch of different people. But when books were first published, Renard was one of the first ones ever published because they were so popular. But hi, Carly. Yes, you get the last spot. Yay. So be, in other words, be unapologetically yourself. Don't bow to things just because that's the way we've always done them, right? You're welcome, Carly. But I think it'll be good for you. And it might be too that the whole experience brings new inspiration for you to express in your work. Oh, thank you, Carolyn. I appreciate that. So I hope that is helpful, and keep me updated. Let me know how it goes. I wish you well. All right, card number 2 for Anna. All right, Anna, card number 2 for Anna is the Lynx. Anna, you have been doing so much clearing and shadow work, and because Lynx is kind of the matron saint of psychics and seers, because with that gaze She doesn't just look at you, she looks through you. She knows everything there is to know about you just by looking, just by seeing you. And in order to have that ability, she's called the keeper of secrets. But to have that ability, she can't have secrets from herself, right? She has to be the hollow bone like we talk about in shamanism. And so this is like, again, this is a validation of how far you've come, of how well you're doing, that you've basically leveled up. And I wouldn't be surprised if you've been experiencing new, like, intuitive hits, you know, or just downloads, like psychic downloads and such, because it's like, well, it's like when you drive your car, right? If it's mucky, wet weather, and even the, you know, your windshield wipers don't totally clear the windshield, right? It's like you can only see bits and pieces of what's ahead of you, and those can be really distorted by the water and everything else, right? And so what you've done is basically cleared those windshields, so it's like, you know, high definition, right? You can see everything ahead of you without any distortions, without any filters, without any of your own issues mucking up the view to distort or project things onto anyone else. You know, it reminds me, like, growing up in Minnesota, learning to drive in Minnesota, there were so many days you would be driving to work and you'd have to sweep all the snow off your windshield, and then you'd have the layer of ice underneath it, and you'd have to scrape and scrape and scrape, and sometimes you could only like scrape like this much off of your windshield. And so you're driving and you're like up looking at the windshield through this little bitty hole, hoping that you can see everything. That's probably like most people have some form of that, of just looking through, like there's this whole wide windshield, but there's only this much that is clear. And you have basically cleared everything so that you can see clearly. And the other element of that is that part of the necessity to clear our own issues, to clear that hollow bone, is because if we don't, then, you know, we might be able to see everything, but because it's going to come through our filters or through the work that we haven't done for ourselves yet, we're going to judge others. We're going to project our own judgments upon someone else. And there's no room for that judgment. To be the keeper of secrets, to be true to your purpose, you have to see things as they are, without judgment. It's like there's this great method of meditation that I love, and it is so powerful. And basically what you do is you sit down, close your eyes, just like you do for a normal meditation. But then instead of trying to focus on your breath and shut out the outside world, you actually open up to the outside world, hearing-wise anyway. And so you start to listen to all the sounds, but your goal is to not label, just to hear the vibrations. Without labeling, going, oh, that's a car, oh, that was a bird, that was a dog. It's just to hear this background of vibrations without labeling them. And eventually, when you get there, it is so powerful. It just kind of brings your energy back, because you're not throwing labels and names and things out there. You're only receiving the vibrations in their pure form, which translates into you becoming more centered and pure. Like, totally gets you out of the brain. It gets you down here to the heart. And in fact, I remember reading about Dr. Wayne Dyer used to do that. And he went to the dentist one day, and they had to fill in a cavity or something. And so instead of fighting it, he decided to do that kind of a meditation. So he was actually meditating to the sound of the drill. And then the dentist got done, and Wayne was like, "Oh, couldn't you do something else? I'm not ready to come out yet. Can't you? Isn't there something else you can drill?" Because that like nails on a chalkboard kind of sound of the dental drill, he was using that as a way to center without labeling it. So it's like, to see, you're able to pick up more and more on what is going on in other people's lives, what their challenges are or whatever. And then here's the other portion of that puzzle, is that because we're not judgmental about them, we see them as they are. It's like Mr. Rogers used to say, you're perfect exactly as you are. And it's seeing them in all their perfection, even though they have these issues. It's like, you're still, every person, no matter what issues you have, is still whole. And we come here with certain purposes and things to learn. And that is something that no matter how clearly you see, you do not have the ability or the authority to tell someone else what they have to do. So you can see things that people are dealing with or struggling with, but until they ask you, you just bless them and let them go on their way, right? Because until they ask, you don't know for sure what needs being done. That's not your place. Does that make sense? And it kind of fits too with that. There's a school of thought that believes that the Sphinx in Egypt was actually a lynx rather than a lion. And there's the whole thing about the riddle of the Sphinx, having to answer the riddle before you can pass. And so it's kind of that kind of thing too, that someone needs to ask permission, ask a riddle before they can get an answer. And so, in other words, good job. You have leveled up. You have reached another level of yourself, and it's one of those things where the more you clear yourself of your own issues, you just automatically heal everyone around you. Our purpose, like I was telling Carolyn earlier, you don't come in here with the purpose of healing other people. Because again, if you're not healed, you're not going to be able to see what needs to be done, and you're only going to create more chaos. A lot of people, when they heal others or try to heal others, they think that it's their job to push their energy onto someone else to clear something up or whatever. But if you do that, all you're doing is creating another layer of energy that is foreign to this person that they're going to need to clear out later. And so it's about staying in your own center, your own sovereignty. And there's a great book, Medicine for the Earth by Sandra Ingerman. And she taught us this, and it's like, it's this healing technique where you don't purposely like send healing or send love. You just stay in your own divine light, and you say something like, thank you for taking from me that which separates me from my divine light. And you sit in that divine light and you radiate it out. And then, so you're basically raising the frequency. And you can focus on someone if you have the address or you know the person or whatever. You can focus on them, and it's like doing the namaste thing, right? You're connected to your own divine light so that you can see the divine light in them, which helps to bring that forward to raise their frequency. And that's what actually heals them, is their own light, their own divine light. So again, and I've taken classes. One in particular, I was taking a class with Lisa Williams, a really well-known psychic medium, and she had us actually answer a question. We had a question we had to answer before we take the class, and that was, why do you want to do this work? And the only answer that was not acceptable was to help other people. Because if your focus is to help other people, you're not doing your own work. You're projecting your stuff onto other people, trying to heal yourself through healing other people. But that's just projection, and you're not doing anything. You're not growing. You're not getting any deeper. You have to do your own work in order to have access to the frequencies that will help raise someone else's vibration to the point where they can heal. So you have been doing tons of work, and it shows. And it's like the spirits are congratulating you, welcoming you to the next level. Awesome. All right, card number 3 for Davlin. I miss you, Davlin. When you come back from school sometime, you need to get together, maybe go have coffee or something. Or chai, I should say. All right. Haha. Awesome. All right, so card number 3 for Davlin is Black Panther. I love this card so much. And, you know, Black Panther is kind of the microcosm in the macrocosm, right? And Black Panther's got that shimmery blue-black coat, just like the shimmery blue-black of the night sky. So it's kind of like Panther is almost an embodiment of infinity. And that's what you are. You are an embodiment of infinity. And it's like that old saying about as above, so below. How do I put it? Your life is an adventure. You're at the wheel of your own ship. You're the captain of your own ship. You have things to go explore and to find out. And the universe supports you in everything that you want to do. It's this co-creative venture, right? And so like as above, so below, as below, so above, the universe backs you up And so it's kind of like, I always bring up the cosmic GPS system with Black Panther, because it's like, your job is to set that destination, to input the destination in that cosmic GPS, and then to just let go and allow the universe to guide you step by step by step to get to that destination. And the adventure comes in because you're guaranteed to get there, right? You set that destination, it has to happen. But you don't know what lies between this point and that destination. That's the adventure. But you know that whatever happens, whatever comes up in front of you, you will be able to handle, because who you are at this point and who you will be at that future destination are two different people. And so by setting that destination, the universe will guide you, okay, go 5 miles forward, take a left, take a right. You know, it'll take you through some interesting scenery and neighborhoods and things and experiences that you need to take in to grow in order to become that higher frequency person that you will be, where that destination, whatever it is you're trying to manifest, resonates with you, right? Because if who you are right now resonated with what you're desiring, you would have it. That's cosmic law. But in order to become the person where that's just the natural side effect of being that person, you have to kind of grow and raise your frequency, and the universe will bring you the easiest, quickest ways to do that, to get you to that destination. Does that make sense? But it's like, Black Panther is about embracing the unknown. And so instead of being afraid of the dark or afraid of the unknown, when there's uncertainty, it's like once more into the breach. It's like, okay, let's do this. To Valhalla, right? And full steam ahead, because like I said, you know, no matter what happens, whatever comes up, you can handle it. That everything that comes up is a stepping stone toward that destination. And so it's that fully embracing the adventure of life, and that whimsy and that wonder of a child, like, oh, what happens if I go this way? Rather than doing the societal thing of, oh my God, I don't know where I'm going. You know, my future is dark and uncertain because I don't know what's going to happen. And so we just, according to our upbringing in this society, we focus on the one worst case scenario. Even though that darkness is all embracing, and it is actually the cosmic womb that contains every possible future and every possible permutation of every action you might take. That's why it's dark, because you haven't gotten there yet, because it's still unwritten. It's like that Natasha Bedingfield song, Unwritten. And I would sing it now if I could remember the words or the melody. But yeah, it's like your book is wide open, and you're the one who's filling in the pages. It's like a choose your own adventure, right? And so like not everything is under your control, because it is a co-creative thing between you and the universe. But you can trust. You know, it's like that saying, that quote from Einstein about the greatest decision you'll ever make is whether you live in a friendly universe or a hostile one. And if you have that sense of adventure, and you know that the universe is on your side, that the universe is friendly, then there's no separation. Like your higher self or the universe or creator, whatever you want to think of as source, is you. There is no separation. And why couldn't you trust yourself? Like if something happens that, you know, the monkey mind might think, oh my God, how am I going to do this? Oh my God, that's too much. I can't take it. But if you can trust, okay, the universe is friendly. It's my higher self who's guiding me in this direction. So obviously my higher self or the universe or creator trusts me enough, knows me enough to know that I have the ability to face whatever this is. And so I'm going to trust their faith in me to face whatever this is so that I can grow and raise my vibration so that I resonate with whatever that is I'm trying to manifest. So good job. I love this tonight. It seems like all the cards are like this thumbs up from the universe. Okay, you get one too. Pew, pew. Ooh, ah, ooh. So, awesome. You are, can I just say, you are so cool. And I love you. Actually, I have a picture I need to send you. Your mom showed me a picture of you with your big bear in the passenger side seat, and I had this big giant stuffed bear I had for a friend. I took it up the other day to her up in Snohomish, and I had to strap him in so I could see it would hold him down. So I have a picture to show you that. You are the coolest. I'll send that picture to you sometime. All right, card number 4 for Valerie. All right, Valerie, card number 4. Poofy, your bear. Poofy, that's your bear. Your mom sent me a picture and actually a video driving past you with the, I was like, you are so my adopted daughter. Or what is it, bonus daughter? Is that how they put it? Bonus child? All right, card number 4 for Valerie. We have, oh, my candle is going out. We have Antelope in reverse. Antelope can be kind of a complex spirit guide. The main thing that antelope represents is sacrifice, which usually when antelope comes up and I say that, it's probably one of the least favorite cards in the deck, along with ant, which is patience. It's like as soon as the ant card comes up, I kind of giggle because it's like, God, give me patience and I want it now. But antelope is about sacrifice, but it's not the kind of sacrifice of, say, like my Catholic upbringing where everyone else is better than you. Jesus sacrificed his life, so you have to sacrifice and suffer to make his death worthwhile or whatever. It's nothing like that. It's not a martyrdom. It's really about letting go, sacrificing all the things that are holding you back. Like I was just talking with Davlin about setting those destinations, raising your frequency. You know, we all keep these certain patterns or habits or whatever around, and it's not that they're harmful, it's just that they sap our energy. They keep us from building up the necessary energy to push forward. So it's not that it makes you go backwards necessarily. It could, depending, but it's those convenient little things that we, spend so much time doing this where, we lose track of time, or which that I need to find a different way to say that, because losing a sense of time isn't necessarily a bad thing when it's something creative, doing something you love, like from here, not something that's just taking up time, keeping your mind busy kind of thing. And so it's examining those things and giving up those things that no longer support the person that you're meant to become, okay? So I would recommend doing like a fire ceremony. And for anyone who doesn't know what that is, it's such a basic, simple, but profound thing. And all you need is like a ceramic bowl and a candle and some paper to write on. And so for Valerie, I would recommend doing like write down, do kind of a meditation or a journey. I actually did this with Sandra Ingerman once in one of our classes, and she had us journey to our guides and ask, what is it I need to give up to become my best self? What is it I need to release or sacrifice to become my best self, to become the healer, the shaman, or whatever that I am meant to become? And it was interesting because the answer that came back was obligations. It was basically putting everyone else first, and feeling obligated to everyone else and to protocols, etc., that get in the way of me being myself, being centered enough in myself to be able to do the work that I do. And so, journey on it, meditate, write down a number, different things that, different things to sacrifice. And the thing is, the word sacrifice actually means to make sacred. And so this is a sacred, holy act. It's not, okay, I guess I can give that up. And, oh, God, okay, well, I figured I was going to have to give that up sooner or later, so now is as good a time as any. No, this is a conscious, mindful, spiritual ceremony of letting go, releasing. So you write them on the paper, and then you light them with your candle or other flame, and then you just put them into your ceramic bowl and let them burn. You release that thing. If it's a person, if it's a place, if it's a activity, whatever it is, you release it to the fire and literally watch the fire take it away from you. And then, if you want to take it one step further, a friend of mine, Judith Laxer, who does Gaia's Temple, told me one time that the wise woman's way, rather than figuring out what you're letting go of, is figuring out what you're going to add to your life. So you can either do those both, figure out what it is that I'm letting go of, what is it that's taking my energy, that's not supporting me, and then what can I add into my life that will increase my passion, will increase the support for who I am becoming. And in that case, with the things you're adding, you still give it to the fire, and then you breathe it. You basically give it to the fire, and you kind of breathe it in. You take it into yourself. The fire. How do I explain this? I've never really thought of explaining it before. It's easy, the whole release thing. But it's like the fire takes it from out of just a concept and brings it to your heart. That pilot light, that flame within you. So that's what I would recommend. Because you deserve to be unshackled. You deserve to be unburdened, right? I mean, think about the pronghorn. They are the second fastest mammal in the world. The only mammal faster than them is the cheetah. And so they can't be burdened, or they will be caught, right? And so it's about unburdening yourself, and you deserve to be free, to be unburdened, to have the ability to run that fast across the plains or whatever, right? And the other part of that is trusting yourself enough, trusting your own natural intuition and instincts to the point that you don't have to be hyper vigilant, looking for threats, waiting for threats, you know, just like constantly just tight and waiting and protective. Antelope, you know, they have this hair trigger, boom, they, you know, 0 to 60 in no time flat, literally. And so, you don't have to be ready to go. You don't have to be all tight and ready to jump, ready to run, because it's your nature to get out of the way or to jump in when you are needed. So it's trusting yourself so that you can relax and just graze. You know, they're not all tight and tightly wound. They can relax because they know that if something threatens, they will be able to get out of the way very quickly. They know exactly how to respond. And they respond rather than react, right? And there might be a little, you know, antelope in a way is, antelope medicine is kind of a more primitive version of buffalo medicine. Antelope has a lot of the same medicine, that whole sacrifice. Where that comes from, there's a story about when the first peoples came across the Bering Strait into the Americas. You know, it was the Ice Age, which is why they were able to walk across the Bering Strait. So everything was frozen. They were vegetarian at the time, apparently, according to the story. And so they were starving and they were freezing and they didn't know how to survive. And Antelope saw this, leapt in, and said, take my meat for your food, take my bones for your tools, take my hide for your clothing and your shelter. So Antelope provided them with everything they needed to survive, because he knew he was much more than the body. He knew he could sacrifice the body, and in giving that sacrifice to someone else to survive, he would actually grow and evolve, and then he would be reborn into the herd the next spring anyway. So he lost nothing truly. He gained everything. And so part of it can be that, you know, opening up to receive from the universe, dropping the thought patterns or the belief systems that keep you from receiving all the abundance coming to you. You know, if your arms are full of worry, there's no place for the blessings to come in, right? And so it's kind of like dropping all those things, like, and that might be that's part of the sacrifice. We're sacrificing the thought patterns that keep us in survival mode, dropping the thought patterns of the belief systems that say we're not worthy. That, well, that's good, that's fine for someone else, but I've got my own problems, my own story, and I'm different, and I don't deserve it. And so the sacrifice comes in and dropping those things. Those are the things that are keeping you lower than you could be. And so by sacrificing them, making them sacred, you know, it's like nothing is lost, nothing is wasted. And it's kind of like by sacrificing that energy, you know, that's what it is, thoughts and feelings, etc. It's energy. By letting go of it, like giving it to the earth or giving it to the flame, to the fire, you're neutralizing that energy. And then the earth will recycle that energy for creation. And by dropping that energy from your energy system, you're opening the door for bigger, better things to come in. Okay? You deserve to be happy. You deserve to have joy. And you deserve to have that self-confidence, that self-awareness, that self-acceptance to know that no matter what happens, you're going to be okay, that you can handle anything that comes, right? Whew. All right. Card number 5 for Tammy. I hope that was helpful, Valerie. All right, Tammy. Oh, my candle keeps kind of dying down. All right. So you're welcome, Valerie. Tammy, card number 5 is Weasel. Weasel is about like intuition, and you know, they are so quick and they're into everything, so they know everything about everything around them, even the things that they're not supposed to know, right? And so it's about having that awareness of everything around you, and rather than being the hamster wheel, oh, Kevin, I miss Pauly Shore sometimes. It's the Weasel. I can't do Pauly Shore, but grinding on the, oh no, munching on the grindage. That's all I remember. Anyway, so the Weasel. Upright, it's like Weasel has already covered all the territory. He knows everything that's going on in his world. And so he doesn't have to keep running back and forth and checking on things. And, you know, in reverse, it's like the hamster wheel. where you're tiring yourself out. You're expending all this energy to double check things, make sure things are in place, and what if this happens, and trying to follow all these different paths. You're running out to the end of this path to see what happens if that happens, what happens if I go this way, what happens if I go this way, and so you're like that, tiring yourself out. This is about trusting yourself again, trusting your intuition, trusting that there is nothing, how do I put this? If there is something you need to know, you will know it. It will come to you. And if you don't know it, you don't need to know it. It's kind of like, I've heard these stories about Einstein and how he used to have someone walking behind him like all the time with a notebook, writing down the different things that Einstein would say, and especially like names of people and addresses and all that stuff, because he didn't want to waste brain space on the little details of things. And so he had this wide range, and that's what allowed him to literally mentally travel into the universe and figure things out, right? And that's kind of like, so it's kind of almost a simplification of getting out of your own way. And like, if he doesn't need to know an address, he's not going to keep it up here in his memory. He's got it written down so he doesn't have to remember it, so he can spend his energy someplace else. And so if there's something that you don't know, if you need to know something, it will come to you. It might come in a download. You might overhear a conversation. Someone might show up with exactly the right information at the right time or something like that. But you don't have to keep chasing after things. And there's this quote, I need to look this up, but there's a quote by Kafka, and I love it so much. And something about, I can know the world without leaving my house. And something about when you treat the universe in the right way or whatever, that it will come and roll over at your feet. And that is the essence of Weasel. It's like you know exactly everything. You don't have to. Your intuition is the thing that runs out, right? So if you need to know something, it's like, okay, let's meditate, let's journey, let's ask someone, and it's like your mind or your spirit is what travels out there and brings back that information. So you don't have to physically or mentally wear yourself out trying to find the answers. It's like, it's more of that letting go, opening to receive feeling, that surrendering. And when you do that, when you don't waste space with things you don't need to know or don't need to do, your energy like expands exponentially. Then you can be like Weasel and just run around having a good time. They're so fun-loving. They're kind of trickster medicine too, right? And, oh, that's interesting. I know you are prone to go down rabbit holes, etc. And what creature better to have, other than a rabbit maybe, to go down the rabbit hole with than Weasel, right? That's what they do. They dig, they go through the tunnels in the earth, they go through and like get to the underneath, get to what's below the surface. And so, like when I'm talking about getting this information, allowing that information to come to you, we're not talking on a two-dimensional, flat plane. I'm talking about deep underground source material of what's going on, you know, and because you don't have to go through the you know, jump through the hoops or whatever, you actually have more energy to yourself to focus in the directions of being your own best self and playing and enjoying yourself. They are such happy creatures. And they sleep a lot too. It's like that kind of yin-yang thing, you know, action, crash, action, crash, right? So it's like really balanced. And so if you haven't been experiencing that yet, know that this is kind of what's coming, that things, you're not going to feel so pulled in so many different directions or feel so lost in decision making and all of that kind of stuff, because you'll just know. That is so you, huh? Yeah, that just makes a lot of sense. And it's kind of like, it's like there seems to be this correlation between enlightenment and humor or enjoyment, right? You're welcome. And it's like there is such a deep, deep wisdom to Weasel. But they're probably one of the most playful creatures on the planet. All they do is have fun. Everything is a game. So yeah, so if you don't know something, then you don't need to know it. Or if you do need to know it, it will come shortly. But save your energy for the priority, which is joy and fun. Okay? All right. Card number 6 for Carly. So again, if you didn't come in at the beginning, I would ask that you please share my video, help get my voice out there. The more people I can help, the more people that I can support and can support me, the better. And if you would like to support your friendly neighborhood shaman in a different way, I do have my PayPal and my Venmo links pinned to the top of the comments. This video is totally free. There is no obligation. But sometimes if you get something and you want to give something back, I am more than grateful for anything that you wish to donate to my work, my life, so that I can better focus on doing this work and supporting you and your work and everything. So anyway, all right, card number 6 for Carly. All right, Carly, card number 6 is Bear. Bear with me. Bear left, right frog. Bear. This is a great card to have right now. What it kind of tells me is that we have our own natural cycles, our own natural rhythms, and then there are the bigger rhythms of the earth and the nature and everything, right? And what this is telling me is that, right now is when the bears are getting fat, getting ready to go into, into the caves and hibernate. And so it's like hard. It's like this is, and like if you look around at like all the corn stalks and the pumpkins, it's like this is harvest season. And so this is a great time to harvest everything, like to look back on the past year or so, see everything you've gained up to this point, and really celebrate your accomplishments, celebrate the things that have changed in you, the places where you'll just be going along and something happens and you just kind of take it in stride and all of a sudden realize, holy crap, a year ago that would have floored me, right? So look for those things, even make a list, like things you're grateful for that have happened in the past year that you have grown from, different qualities maybe you took on or different insights, etc., and harvest those. Hold them close to your heart and celebrate them. You did that. That is all you. And then, just like the bear, it's like your own personal rhythms are in sync with the natural rhythms of the earth. And so, coming up as we're going further and further into the dark half of the year, don't be afraid of taking naps. Don't be worried if you're low energy, if it takes you longer to do things. Give yourself that grace to know that, there's time to hibernate. There is time for inner work. That's what bear, like in the book, the word that goes with bear is introspection. And so this is the time of the year to kind of pull back from the outside world and to really focus on, especially things like journaling or, shadow work, or what it is that you can do. Like, it can be kind of a hermity kind of time of the year, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? So it's like giving yourself the space you need to look at yourself, to do some self-examination, some introspection, maybe journal, and or do some art or dance or whatever your creative outlet is. Do that, so that it's almost like those things are the light. How do I put this? It's the light that carries you through the dark half of the year. And it has to be the inner light. So whatever it is that brings you joy, do more of that this fall and winter. Because that is the light of the season. And that is what gets you through the darkness. And that's how you grow and you expand, by that self-expression, whether it's journaling, art, whatever it is. This is the time for that. And don't be afraid to say no. If people are like, oh, you got to come to this thing, and we got this holiday party and all these things, it's like, this is not the time for activity. I mean, you can, if it sounds good and you feel enthusiastic, go for it. But if it's iffy, like they say, if it's not a hell yeah, then it's a no. Because this is the time for nurturing your own spirit and for mothering yourself and nurturing yourself, right? Bear is the great, it's all, bear comes up and a lot of people's first thought is mother bear, the bear mother. And she really is. according to some sources, she is the original deity worshipped by humankind. She was the original mother goddess because she had dominion over life and death. She would die every year and then she would come back to life. And so the oldest human tombs that we have bones of bears buried with the people because of that. And so she is literally the first great mother goddess. And so this is the time to mother yourself, you know, be who you needed when you were a kid. Be the adult that your little kid needed. You know, if you didn't get enough love, and I'm not going to, you know, some people have good childhood, some people don't, some people are in between or whatever, but, you know, give yourself the space to explore those things. Give yourself the love. Bear, Tammy, Bear was the first mother goddess. Bear was the first goddess, the first deity ever worshipped by humans. And so give yourself, like, so as you're doing journaling, as you're doing introspective things during this time of the year, when those old issues come up, when the old things like where you feel hurt or you're like, feel unseen or unheard or just whatever the issues are, when they come up, recognize them as a younger version of you who didn't have permission to feel those things. That's why they're still there. That's why they're coming up. Because that little kid you used to be didn't have permission to feel that or to express that. And so the best thing to do is when those come up is to talk to that little one and give them permission to feel that. I just did some of this over the weekend. I had some really terrible crud coming up. And I mean, things I hadn't felt in decades. And it took all my strength to be able to just sit with it and to give it permission, give myself permission to feel this way. And to say, I am so sorry that someone made you feel like this. It's not fair. And I see you and I love you anyway. And you have my permission to feel this in my body. And it might take a little bit. I mean, it's not instantaneous necessarily, but that is how we heal those old wounds. Not by repressing them or avoiding them, but by allowing them and loving them. Not necessarily loving the feelings that are coming up, but loving the being you were when you first felt that. And giving yourself that space to be able to feel that, to express that, you know. And that's another good thing where art or creative projects come in, because you have a place to express those things and get it out of you even sooner, even quicker. So, and rest a lot. Sounds like one of King Arthur's knights. Sir, rest a lot. Yeah. This is really intense work, and it can be difficult, but it is so worth it. And it's a sign that you are growing, that you are ready for this level. This is not beginner stuff. That you are ready for that advanced spiritual path, spiritual work. And you totally have it. You totally have everything you need to do that. So I love doing that. All right, so that was card number 6. So let me shuffle again and pull one more card for everybody. And again, thank you for spending your evening with me, taking some time out of your busy schedule to spend with me. When we're done here, I am going to share this video to my Facebook page, and I will upload it as well to my Perching Wolf Studios YouTube channel. So you can watch it as many times as you want. If you forgot what I said and you need a refresher, you can re-watch it. Oh, thank you, Carolyn. I appreciate that. I appreciate all that you do, too. I really do. You're amazing. Thank you. What was I saying? Oh, and my YouTube channel. So if you want to share, please share this video. You can tag people in the comments or share it in Messenger or on their Facebook page or whatever. But please share the love. And if you need a refresher, you can rewatch this anytime on my Facebook page or on my YouTube channel. Please check out my YouTube channel and subscribe and like my videos. That helps me out and getting it, like shifts the algorithms or something so that more people can find me. And it's just all around win-win-win. What else? And as I have said, as your friendly neighborhood shaman, my job is to support you on your spiritual work, on your spiritual path. And so if there is anything I can do to help with that, you can check out my website, perchingwolfstudios.net, and you can learn more about me. You can see the different services I offer, readings and healings and teachings, oh my. And you can read some of my comics. I've got links to, I'm a cartoonist as well. All kinds of good stuff there. So check that out, and you can set up a session right from my website. And so some of you know I had to temporarily give up my office earlier last week, but I am still in business. I'm still here. Anything I do, I can do over Zoom. I am also still working out of the store at Four Sisters Holistic Remedies in downtown Renton, so you can still find me there. And trying to maintain my regular office hours. That might have to shift a little bit, but and I'm going to have more classes coming up soon. So keep an eye on my Facebook page, keep an eye on my website to see other things coming up. And one other thing, I do another video every week on Wednesday nights at 7 o'clock Pacific. I do a sacred pipe ceremony, which is the Lakota peace pipe, you might know it as. I do a ceremony. I started at the beginning of the pandemic doing it online to help hold space for people to connect to spirit at least once a week. And so I'm still doing it. So you can, if you don't know what it's like and you want to check it out, or you do know what it's like and you want to be a part of it, please come. It'll be right here. Again, it's free on my Facebook page, Wednesday night at 7. I'm not sure where it'll be this week, but we will make it work. So anything else? I think that is it for now. So again, thank you so much for your presence here tonight. It means the world to me, and I appreciate all of you. I thank you for supporting me by watching the video, supporting me by sharing the video. Oh, and again, if you did get something from the night and you wish to reciprocate financially, I do have my PayPal and Venmo links pinned to the top of the comments. And I am beyond grateful for anything anyone ever gives me. It's just such a miracle to me. So thank you in advance for your kindness and generosity. And let's see what this final card is for our community. hummingbird in reverse. So, hummingbird is joy. And I know there's a lot of heaviness out there right now. I know there's a lot of astrological things going on. It's also eclipse season. And just like with the elections coming up, then there's wars going on and hurricanes. There's so much heaviness. But know that, like Abraham Hicks says, you can never be sick enough to help someone who's ill, and you can never be poor enough to help someone in poverty. The only place to help from is your personal power, your personal joy. And so, for the sake of everyone who is suffering, find that joy. The world has enough pain and suffering in it. It has enough ugliness. Do what you can every day to bring just a little bit of joy, a little bit of beauty into the world. And you will be amazed at how much that changes things from the ground up. So seek joy. Seek the sweet spots in your life. When things are dark, especially this time of year, when things are darker earlier, the nights are longer than the days, etc., we have to find, like I was talking about that pilot light earlier, that light, that flame within, we have to start depending on that inner light. And we have to seek out joy. We have to make sure that we're doing things to nurture ourselves. Because if we fall into cynicism, or we fall into depression, or we fall into anxiety, we can't help anyone. You can do your best work from the place of joy. And doing that namaste thing, right? That divine in me sees the divine in you. Whoever it is, seeing the divine in them and holding that vibration for others, even when they can't find it themselves, right? You can help heal a whole room. If you're the highest vibration in a room, you will raise the vibration of everybody in it. It's called entrainment. And so by just being present, you heal all those around you. And by just bringing joy and beauty into the world, you help so many other people. Like, for instance, a couple of years ago, I went to my first Sundance ceremony. It's a Lakota ceremony. It's really intense. There's people out there that they do the piercing, and they tie themselves, they're tied to this tree, they dance, and it's really intense. And I remember, it's painful. The dancers fast for a whole 4 days that they're out there, no food or water. They're constantly having the ropes on their piercing, so their skin is sore and all this stuff. And afterwards, like the last day when all the dancers came out and everything, I had one dancer actually sought me out, and he thanked me for my laugh. If you've been around me anywhere, you know my laugh. And I actually had a sun dancer come to me and thank me personally for my laugh, because that was one of the things that helped him pull through that whole ordeal, was that expression of joy, that expression of lightness, of happiness. It helped him more than if I was all somber and praying and suffering myself for their sake. It doesn't work that way. So be joyful. Bring the world joy. Let the world have more joy than it did when you got here. If nothing else, that is your purpose. Just like you leave like a campground, you go camping and you leave it cleaner than it was when you got there. Same thing. Leave the world more joyful, more happy, more beautiful than it was when you got here. And that serves everybody. So, all right, my friends, I will let you go. Thank you so much for those who stayed with me this whole time. I know it gets long, but I so appreciate you. I appreciate your energy. I appreciate your tuning in. I hope you will join me again next week. And until I see you again, know that I love you, that I see you, and that I honor you. Have a wonderful week, everyone, and go shining. All right, bye.